Welcome back to the Freakin Uncultured Podcast. Thank you again for joining us. I appreciate your time. We appreciate your time. If this is your first time joining us, my name is Andy, and I am joined by my good buddy Chandler. How you doing, buddy? How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good. I slept good last night. I ate my Wheaties this morning, so I'm ready to tackle the world.
There we go. All right.
And,
Well, let's start with a podcast first, and then go after the world.
all right, you
So
hear that, world?
we're coming for you. All right. So we're on. I think this is episode 5 for us now, isn't it? Is this 5?
Man, that's hard to believe, but yeah, it sure is
Good Lord,
actually.
man, we're burning through these things, but we are having a good time. We appreciate all the support you guys have given us so far. Any likes and comments, any comments on the Twitter pages or our Instagram, any of that stuff, or on our YouTube. You guys have been amazing, so thank you so much. But let's start it off as we're I guess normally going to do now. But let's bring up some small talk, man. It's been a little bit since we've had a chance to sit down and talk. What have you been up to, man? What have you been playing? What you been doing?
Man, let's see here lately. I put a little bit more time into Sonic Frontiers. What else have I done here lately? Um, my wife and I have been trying to get through the Knuckles show since we just recently saw Sonic 3. The only thing we haven't seen is the Knuckles show. It's it's interesting. That's all I'm going to say. Uh,
Not enjoying it as much?
no, not as much as the movies, and it's honestly just because of one character. And if you were to watch it, I already know you would have the same issue.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
So, and then outside of that, though, oh, yeah, no. So I was playing Sonic Frontiers, and this is something that I want to say. Let's put it on the record. I want everybody to know that Neon Johns hates pinball.
Ooh, just
I
like
hate pinball.
the game in
Yep.
general.
Yes, I
What
hate pinball.
what did pinball do to you, man?
Well, one, I've never liked pinball that much to begin with, but there was a mini game that's mandatory in Sonic Frontiers that I played this morning that was pinball. But my point is, though, is why do you have two paths that you can't do anything to avoid going down to lose a ball? It is complete chance. There is no luck or skill involved with it. Pinball is just a scam to take your quarters.
I mean, that's on you. I know that pinball players take that game very seriously. So
Well, I don't take them seriously. I hate I hate pinball as much as I hate original Pac-Man. And I used to not always hate original Pac-Man, but that award now goes to the Pac-Man World remake that they did a couple years ago cuz the only trophy keeping me from platinum is the fact that you have to beat 9 levels of OG Pac-Man. And the last time I attempted it, I made it to level 9 and lost my last life and I just about went into a conniption fit.
why do you hate classic Pac-Man? What is wrong with you, man?
Because it's keeping me from platinuming Pac-Man World Repack.
You gotta get good. You gotta keep at it for sure. Just, I've never met another person who's like, I genuinely hate Pac-Man. What happened to you, man? Why do you hate Pac-Man so much? What did he do to you?
The last time I made an attempt, I made it to level 9 only to lose my last life, and I just about had a conniption fit. I think I almost had a stroke that day. I was so angry.
You just got to keep at it, man. I'm sure you can get it, but I'm sure. I mean, OG Pac-Man was no joke back in the day, so that's funny.
But anyway, what's going on with you?
I mean, same old for me. You know my routine there, but been playing a lot more Black Myth, and I'm starting to come around on the game. Like, but there's a small caveat to it, and I'm starting to see that. So I'm still not convinced this is a Game of the Year contender. Like, I
Okay.
genuinely don't. It's a good game. Like, it's a very, very good game. I am starting to enjoy it more, but I have a lot of issues with the game. Like, my biggest thing, I have a lot of issues with the game. My first thing is it's invisible walls galore. The
Hmm.
entire game is just invisible walls. You go up the side of a cliff, you're gonna hit 10 invisible walls, like, completely open. Like, it's available to go where, like, it looks freedom, like you have the freedom to go wherever, but
Hmm.
you're gonna hit every invisible wall. But I know I told you I was disappointed because it's not a Souls-like. Like, it's not a
Yes.
true Souls-like. I still don't think it is. It's still not a true Souls-like to me. Like I said, it's very God of War play, like, feel and stuff like that. But it hit me the other day because I was going through chapter 2 and I was digging and I was like, all right, there's got to be something I'm missing. I'm
Hmm.
seeing all these different weapons and, armor sets. It's like, what am I missing? So I started looking online trying to be like, all right, how do I get this piece of equipment, or what do I need to do to get this? I found an article that said, this is how many bosses are in Black Myth Wukong. How many bosses do you think are in that game?
I'm going to say 67.
There's 107 bosses in Black Myth Wukong.
I don't think you're playing the game correctly then.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter how I play it. They're still going to be in there. But my thing is like, I've been telling you, this just feels like a boss rush mode.
Hmm.
And it hit me. This is Mega Man. This
Okay.
game is playing like Mega Man. You have to beat certain bosses first to beat the bigger bosses easier.
Okay.
I'm basically playing a version of Mega Man. And I was like, okay, so that makes more sense. So now, instead of just being like, all right, storyline, do this, it's like, I have to go find all these secret bosses now. And it's starting to feel a little bit more open.
Hmm.
So I'm enjoying it, but I was like, this is just a modern day Mega Man. This is so weird.
Man, so let me ask you a couple questions,
All
okay?
right.
Number one, what are your thoughts on Curious George?
I mean, I read the books growing up. I like him.
Do you like him still?
I mean, I have nothing against him.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Planet of the Apes?
Don't care for him.
See, I think that your hatred for Black Myth, or distaste of Black Myth, I should say, is because you hate monkeys.
You caught me.
I
It's
knew
true.
it.
It's no, and I mean, kind of like going back on that. I think we've talked about it before. I'm not a big fan of the Planet of the Apes movies. My
Hmm.
wife is. She actually really likes them. It's just they never caught my attention. But yeah, I'm enjoying Black Myth more and more. Like honestly, when we're done here, I'm gonna play more of it. I found that drive to play it and keep at it, but it's
Hmm.
just I feel like it's kind of overhyped. Like I don't feel like it should have been up for game of the year. That doesn't mean it's a bad game. It doesn't mean it's not worth playing. Like the dev team did phenomenally. Like they
Hmm.
I mean, I think it was a Chinese studio,
Yep.
and like they put out a game that went worldwide, sold millions of copies. Like kudos to the studio. They did a great job. And it's not going to meet everyone's standards, and for me it's just not 100% yet. Like I would probably say it's a good B tier. Like I would give it around an 80 score, but I mean I still have half the game to go through. It might get a lot better, who knows.
Well, folks, you heard it here first. Andy has clearly stated that Astrobot deserved Game of the Year.
We're not going that far. We're not going to go that far. If we're done with small talk, I say we roll into the topic unless you got anything else you want to cover real quick, man.
Nah, let's get it, man. We got a big one here today,
We do, man.
especially because we're a little over a week away from it happening. So,
Yeah, so if you haven't been on the internet or anything like that, or if you don't keep up with that stuff, we have an Xbox showcase coming up in like a little over a
um,
week and a half, something like that.
it'll be on the 23rd, which is a Thursday. We're recording this on a Sunday, so a week from this upcoming Thursday.
Okay, so yeah, we got a little ways to go, but Xbox showcase coming up, which means we're gonna get some game announcements. Are these gonna be new game announcements? We don't know. Hopefully, we'll see something new. But hopefully we'll finally get some answers on some older games that we've been waiting on. There's a lot of
Hmm.
stuff in the pipeline. Kind of the biggest complaint Chandler and I have is, they do all these really big game announcements, but we're not going to see them for 3-4 years out. We just finished the video game awards stream not too long ago, and we got some really cool announcements, but they're all like 2026 or
Man,
no date coming up. So
and in some of these instances too, for some of these games that we're going to be talking about, they were announced, like almost 6 years ago.
yeah,
It, and we still haven't seen them. Like, what is going on?
yeah. So I think we need to find a better balance when it comes to game announcements in the industry. Like I
Hmm.
know it's all about secrecy and stuff like that. You want to be the developer that drops a bombshell and everyone's excited for this game. And just with social media and the internet nowadays, just not as possible as it once was.
Hmm.
But we've got to get better about, if we're going to announce a game, let's have some sort of idea of trickling out information and keeping excitement there, or we're just going to forget about it and by the time it comes out, it's going to be a completely different game, with new hardware and new software updates, stuff like that. We don't know what the game's going to be like. So, but hopefully we'll be doing a watch party. I don't know if we're going to be able to do a live stream on the Xbox showcase.
I don't know what time it actually is for us.
I think it's 10 a.m. for us. So
is it 10 a.m.?
Yeah, we're not going to be able to do a live stream on it, but we'll do a reaction. We'll do what we can to avoid any big spoilers if we can. But if anything, we'll do a recording. We'll do a sit down, watch it together, kind of talk it out. But that's something to keep on the lookout for the future. But today we are going to talk about what are we hoping we see, or what are we expecting to see at the Xbox showcase coming up on the 23rd. So Let me switch this over. I'm going to set this up. We just got a brand new layout for this. And my first game that I am super excited for is one that they announced last year, and I was surprised you actually didn't know about this one.
Man, I'm sure I saw it, and for just whatever reason, it left my mind.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, we're both on top of this stuff for sure. But Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is one I am very, very excited for. This is a very different take on the turn-based RPG. It has a really like a Persona style action to it. The camera the camera angles when you're in combat just look crazy. But I'm really intrigued on this story. The story is something that is just I don't know enough on, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers. I'm trying to avoid digging into the story or anything like that. I've only seen the trailers that they've shown on like the bigger events. But I love the way the game looks. I love that fantasy style. And I'm an old school RPG guy. I grew up with like Final Fantasy and those turn-based style games. So this is something that seems like it would be right up my alley. What's your take on this one, Chandler?
So this is one that, like I said, I'm pretty sure I saw the announcement for it, but it just left my mind, and it didn't re-enter until a couple of months ago whenever you were like, hey, look at this game. So it's relatively fresh on my mind, and it's one that I am interested in. I honestly think my wife would be more interested in it than I am, but I keep forgetting to show her the trailer. But it's also more of a thing of when this game is coming out in March.
I think they have a spring release date right now. I don't think it has an official. Spring? Yeah. Okay.
Because, man, if it comes out in March, I'm just not picking it up day one. There's way too many games coming out already that I have more interest in over it. And then not only that, though, but there's the whole rumor that the Switch 2 is launching in March and everything like that. So there would be no point for me to pick it up day one if that's the case, because it would just get overshadowed anyway.
Fair enough. No, it doesn't have an official date. They are saying spring, which hopefully that means like April, May-ish. So that'll give you a little bit of relief, because I know your March is definitely filled up for sure. So. But this is one I hope we see a little bit more. They're not being very secretive on this one. They're not like keeping things away. That if you follow their Twitter page, which I actually do, they've been kind of giving out little teasers of the game, showing off the combat a little bit more. So they're digging into it a little bit, but they're not giving story, which is what I like. This is one I am. Honestly, this is probably one of the bigger ones I'm excited for this year. So this is one that I'm chomping at the bit for.
Who are the developer and publisher?
I think this one's done by Sandfall Interactive. I think that's what it says at the beginning of the... Yeah, debut title from Sandfall Interactive.
Okay, who's the publisher?
Let's see. Let me see if it pulls up at the end.
Here, if anything, I can pull it up if it doesn't.
It says Kepler.
Kepler?
Yeah, published by Kepler Interactive. So this looks like just a brand new IP from brand new developer.
Yeah, Kepler Interactive. So
I'm excited to see more on this one. This is one I'm very excited for. So
let me see here.
Yep, it actually says at the beginning Kepler Interactive. So
it does. Well, apparently they have quite a bit of games. They've done a lot.
Kepler?
Yeah, so they did, do you remember Flintlock?
Yep.
Siege of Dawn?
Yep.
Yeah, they published that. They published Pacific Drive.
Okay.
Cat Quest 3, Scorn. I believe it's pronounced Chia or Chia. They
Okay.
also publish Sifu.
Okay. I mean, those have all been pretty big names on the as of lately. So
Yeah.
some of those have been bigger than others, but I mean, Sifu was a big
hmm
deal when it came out for sure.
Yeah, no, same with Cat Quest 3, man. You know, that's a goated game for sure, and there's definitely no bias on my part.
I'll take your word on that one. So this is going to be my first choice. I hope we see more at the showcase for this one. This is one that I am very excited for. So, and who knows? I'm. This is something Chandler and I have been talking about. We want to start streaming games. I know we want to do stuff individually, and we also want to
hmm
do things together. So maybe this will be one I can stream on my own personal channel and stuff like that. So more info on that stuff to come, but that's we got to wait till spring before that happens. So that's my first pick. What's the next one for you, Chandler? Where are we going on the next one for you?
Man, so this one is already a guarantee that it is going to be in the Xbox Showcase. Xbox themselves has teased it, and it is going to be, in my opinion, one of the biggest games of this year. And that is going to be Doom: The Dark Ages, the official prequel to the current Doom games, which all of them are related to one another story wise and canon wise, even though it's kind of messy, but we're not going to get into that. Uh, but yeah, so it takes place before the events of Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, going back to a time whenever the Slayer. It looks like, if you're familiar with the games and everything, it looks like it's based on the planet that he was originally from.
Okay.
So that's how I view it anyway. But I could be wrong in that statement.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean, like I told you earlier, I've played the older Doom games. I played the old PC games like way back in the day. And I
hmm
messed a little bit with 2018 and then Eternal, and they're fun. But for me, it's just they're repetitive. So for me, honestly, I need to try them. I need to give them a fair shot again. These games look so cool. I'm really interested in Dark Ages
hmm
because I like the fantasy style stuff. I'm not big on like sci-fi. Like there are certain sci-fi games I do enjoy, but I enjoy the fantasy style more. So seeing just how ridiculously over the top this is something I think I will at least check out. So.
Well, I definitely recommend that you check out 2016 and Eternal, uh, because they're solid first-person shooters, man. And I understand that you're saying they're repetitive and everything, but what first-person shooter isn't
No, you're
repetitive?
absolutely right. And I think I said 2018. Yeah, Doom 2016. That's right. But yeah,
So
I mean, I get it. You're absolutely right. But I don't know. I need to give him a fair shot. I think I'll at least do that is give him a fair shot.
yeah, no, I'll say this: if you definitely decide to go and give them a shot, make sure that if you start with 2016, that you space out your time from playing 2016 to Eternal because they play nothing alike to one another.
Okay.
So, kind of let your muscle memory from 2016 die before you hop into Eternal.
Fair enough. All right. Well, so Doom Dark Ages is definitely going to be the next one that the first one Chandler's looking out for.
Yeah.
This one I think was on both of our lists, but this
hmm
one I don't know who. Do you know who the developer was for the next one on our list?
It is Compulsion Games.
Compulsion. Okay,
hmm
so
They
this
have done Contrast. I don't know if you remember that one or not.
contrast.
It was actually one of the I think it was one of the first PlayStation Plus games for PS4 whenever the PS4 dropped. You play as this little girl and you have this mime character that like lives in the shadows and you have to help her navigate through a world and stuff like that.
That sounds familiar.
Anyway, yeah, they did Contrast and then they did We Happy Few.
Okay, and I definitely know We Happy Few, so for
Yep.
sure. But South of Midnight. This was a surprise announcement. We didn't know. We knew Compulsion was working on something, but we didn't know what it was exactly. And I love this. I love this style. I
hmm
love the art style. I love the art direction. And you know me, I love those really weird off the wall games. If it's super different, it's something that's going to catch my attention. I may love it, I may hate it, but I'm interested in trying it. This is one of those that I knew nothing on. I mean, you're watching the trailer now, you're riding around on a giant fish's back talking to a rabbit. Like,
Yep.
this is right up my alley. The crazy thing is Compulsion has been showing off more of the combat on their Twitter feed.
hmm
And the combat looks it looks, I want to say incredible, but it looks interesting. It looks very unique for what it is, but I don't know, man. I love it. I love the art style, the claymation style kind of jump cuts between, like, when you're watching her arms run and stuff, like her arms move while she's running. I love it, man. This is one that really caught me by surprise. And I hope the story is phenomenal just as much as this game looks, because I think this could be one that would be, you don't want to miss this one. This is one I'm very excited for.
Oh yeah, since they've announced it, I have had my eyes on this one, man. I am very interested in it. And honestly, one of the things that really interests me about this one is, and this is just a feeling that I get off of it, but it has that feeling of, you went to the crossroads to make a deal with the devil type feeling, It has that southern, what's the word I'm looking for? That
But
southern,
ambiance.
yeah, that southern ambiance or southern mysticism type feel, if that makes sense.
No, it makes me, like, it's a very extreme version of it for sure, but it makes me think of that movie Big Fish. Do you remember Big Fish?
Oh, the Tim Burton movie?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it gives me that feel. Like, obviously this is a pretty extreme comparison, but just like the ambiance, the setting, the crazy wild stories that he would tell in the movie kind of make me think of some of the things you see here, like the giant alligator that pops up at the end. And I don't know, like, just everything about this is just drawing me in, man. I see more and more, and I want to know more and more. Like, I'm very excited for this one. Do you know if this one had a release date?
I don't believe so, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets one from this showcase.
Okay.
And
So,
I'll definitely say this. This is, like I've already stated, one that I am excited for. It's one that I'm actually so excited for that if we don't even get a physical copy at launch, I will download it from Game Pass and play it. I am very interested in this one.
man, I really hope we get a physical on this one. Like,
Oh, me too. Me
I
too.
will. If it's on Game Pass, I will for sure get it and play it. But, like, even if it's on Game Pass, I would still rather buy and support the developer that way.
Same here, especially because, we're not entirely sure, nor do we claim to know how Game Pass works and everything, but it definitely feels like developers don't get their due credit, with the whole share of the spoils thing that kind of goes on with Game Pass. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just if there's some great talent out there, I have no problem supporting that. I mean, we did this, like, when Alan Wake 2 came out. Like, we both, like, I bought it digitally because I'm a huge fan of that franchise. Like, I was very excited for Alan Wake 2, but even when the physical edition came out, I bought a physical edition, and I know you did too, and it's just because we wanted to support.
And then we did the same with Black Myth also.
Yep, and with Black Myth, yep. It's just I have no problem supporting a good team and a good, if they're putting out quality product, we really do need to support that, because nowadays a bad game can ruin a studio, and
I mean,
we don't want to see that.
Just look at Concord.
Yep.
They put all that time and money into it just for their entire studio Firewalk to be shut down. And I mean, say what you will about Concord and everything, but nobody and no studio should have to go through that. So,
no, I don't want anyone. I like the gaming industry is already really a cutthroat industry to work in, and, like, if we can do our part to support some people, I have no problem doing so. So.
Oh, same here. So.
But that's my second pick. That's my next hoping we'll see more. I'm hoping we'll see a release date. If we don't have an official release date, like, give me a window. It says coming 2025. Is it going to be holiday? Is it going to be fall? Are we going to get lucky and see spring? I mean, they've been showing off a lot of this game, so maybe it'll be sooner than later. Who knows? But hopefully we'll see something soon. But going into that, what's going to be your next one?
Man, my next one is one that I have been foaming at the mouth for years now. It has been so long since they announced it, and it's interesting because it's being done by Playground Games, the developers of the Forza Horizon series, and that's Fable.
Yep.
They're going from, a car game. They're going from a car game to an open world RPG like with light elements. I mean, they could be adding more to it, but the original Fable, Fables were kind of light RPGs. They weren't heavy. But who knows what's going on with this one because we haven't even seen gameplay.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
actually,
it's
there was a secondary trailer release that had gameplay in it.
was there?
Yeah, they released a second trailer that actually had a little bit of combat in there.
I'm gonna have to check that out then.
Yep.
Because
It wasn't. I remember there being combat, but I don't remember it being like. I don't know if it was actually in-game combat, but there was a second trailer they did release. We'll have to pull that up. But yeah, no, this is another one I'm excited for too. They haven't given us a lot on this one, man. This is one. Obviously, Fable's a huge franchise. Like if you have an Xbox or had an Xbox 360 back in the day, you played Fable.
yep.
Like that's how it was. I thoroughly enjoyed all of them. I know 3 was kind of shunned, but I didn't mind it as much as the other ones. Obviously, the first 2 were great. The first one was my favorite, but I enjoyed all of them. I really want to see more on this one. Hopefully we'll get an actual, interactive walkthrough of the game. Hopefully we'll actually get a date, because I don't even do we have a window? Do we have a release window on this one yet?
I don't even think they've said the year.
I want to say that we got a 2025 window for it.
Oh, if you look it up, it says 2025.
Yeah, I think the last trailer, the one that shows a guy, like a potion maker or something, and a girl being the main protagonist, and she's walking around doing tasks and stuff. I think that's the new trailer, but I think they had a 2025 date on it, so.
Okay, and I don't know if you've noticed this too from watching the the trailers and everything, but it looks like also with this one they're leaning heavily into the game's namesake, which is a fable. There's a lot of Jack and the Beanstalk like elements to it, and these giant gardens of fruits and vegetables and everything, stuff that feels like you would be told in tall tales, and it seems like they're leaning very heavily into it.
Okay.
And so I'm excited for that. But
Yeah.
my big question is though, do you think Peter Molyneux has any part in this game?
No. Molyneux. He did something. He announced his own project. He's doing his own thing now.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah. Him and his studio are getting back into video games, but they announced they were doing something else.
Are they making Spore 2 finally?
I don't think we're that lucky. Let's see. What was he doing? Masters of Albion. And it's like an old black and white style video game. I don't know if you remember black and white on PC back in the day, but it's a top-down like world creator where you're a civilization style game, but you actually play God, and you actually control. Yeah, well, that's his new game, Masters of Albion. You actually play as God, and you kind of control, how if they build, if they're gonna thrive. Like you play. It's kind of a new take on black and white. So.
I could be wrong in this, but isn't Albion also the name of the world that the first Fable takes place in?
Yep, 100%. So
it's a ripoff.
I mean, it's his property, so like.
Well, he doesn't own Fable anymore, but
no, but I mean, I'm sure he has. He probably has some ties to the original anyway. But yeah, Masters of Albion's what his new project is, but kind of off track there. But yeah, hopefully, I don't expect to get a date on this one, as hopeful as I am. Because as well as I do, this is going to be a holiday title.
Yeah.
This is going to be something that comes out end of October. Probably, I would say October would be a good time for it, because they're going to want it. They're going to want it before that holiday season. So, so that's going to be my next pick.
That's one that like I said, I am foaming at the mouth for, man, and I really hope we get physical copies day one for this title.
Oh yeah, I really hope we get like actual collector's editions and stuff like that again, because I mean I have the collector's editions for Fable 3, and I have both the physical versions for 1 and 2. I got to keep it going, man. We can't just end there. So, but speaking of games we're waiting on, this one. This is one we've been waiting on for a very long time. Now, this has been 6 years in the making, and all we have is an announcement trailer, and it's from Bethesda. Surprising nobody, it's Elder Scrolls 6. So, Am I too far off thinking it might be kind of a pipe dream, hoping we see something on it at this showcase?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, all right, that solves that problem.
What 100%. I don't expect to see any Elder Scrolls 6 stuff. If anything, if we're going to see anything Elder Scrolls, it's going to be ESO and related. Todd Howard is, I don't think he's ready to talk Elder Scrolls 6.
Well, so I agree. I'm definitely hopeful here, but it's been 6 years since we've seen anything on this. And this was, I think if I remember correctly, this was at Summer Game Fest when it was Bethesda's event. And I'm pretty sure Todd Howard just said it, hey, we're working on it. Stop harassing me about it. It's in the works. And I'm pretty sure that was the whole thing that he, like his whole spiel about it.
Well, the reason I could see us not seeing anything on it, though, is mainly just because of the fact that Starfield just got its first major expansion. So I'm sure they're going to be tapering down off of that and everything and wrapping up all the development stuff that they have with Starfield before, they do anything with Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, and sadly, I agree. I would like to see something or even some kind of recognition to it, but I don't expect to, just because Bethesda has their own day at Summer Game Fest. When they do their Summer Game Fest, they have that Sunday usually before everything, and they have an hour of everything Bethesda. They're going to show off their prize pony at that show. They're not going to do it here.
Oh, yeah.
And even if they did it here, and this was going to be a fall release or like a holiday release, they're not going to announce it here. They're going to wait till they have the whole stage to themselves for, a good 30, 45-minute presentation, and they're going to be like, let's flaunt this thing now. So
Yep.
I don't think we'll see it here, but I'm just being hopeful, man. It's been 6 years. We need something on it. It's been when did Skyrim come out? 2011?
Dude, Skyrim came out in like 2011, 2012, somewhere in there.
I think that was 11/11/11, if I remember correctly.
Oh, wait, we've talked about this before, yeah.
Yeah, so
It was 2011.
It's been 14, almost 14, like 13, 14 years. It's time. I get it, they're riding the coattails of Starfield right now, and they don't want to take away from that. They don't want people to stop playing Starfield to go kind of prepare for Elder Scrolls, but like, we need something.
Yeah,
and
they don't want to cannibalize their sales.
And I really hope we start seeing something a little bit more in depth. Hopefully I don't think they have, but maybe they've changed the engine. Maybe they've updated their engine. Starfield looked great. I'll give it credit where credit's due, but we've got games coming out like Cyberpunk, Witcher. These games look incredible. Let's expand on that. Bethesda can keep up for sure. Let's start seeing it happen.
Well, they can keep up, but the question I think is just, are they going to be able to meet the expectations of what people expect from an Elder Scrolls 6?
Fair. I think that's going to be the bigger challenge, and honestly, I feel like Rockstar is kind of dealing with the same thing with GTA.
I was about to say the exact same thing, because just a little side tangent and everything, I don't think GTA 6 is going to sell bad whatsoever. I think it is going to do phenomenal, but I don't think it's going to live up to the expectations that people had.
I honestly, like, GTA is going to sell amazingly. It doesn't matter what you put that on. You could put that on the original Game Boy and it would still sell like crazy.
Yep.
But they've got big shoes to fill. And I think the thing people are going to forget is, where that was a PS3 and a 360 game.
Yep.
And in that time, they've had a major update, 2 major re-releases, because it was on PS4 and PS5. Yep. And then on top of that, they've had all the expansions. That was years worth of work going into that game to get it to where it is now. And I'm afraid people are going to get GTA 6 day one and be like, well, where's my online stuff? Where's my DLC? Yeah. Where's this, that, and the other? But I think GTA will still be that monster. I don't think that's going to change anything. I think that game's still going to be a powerhouse to be, weary of.
Oh, yeah, no, I'll say this, though. I'm on the fence about whether or not I'll get a day one, though.
I mean, fair. That is one I will check out. I don't know about day one. I don't know. I like those games, but 6 or 5, I got bored with halfway through.
Dude, 5 is pretty boring. I'm just saying.
I enjoyed all of those games. Like, my buddy and I played 3, Vice City, there was San Andreas. I mean, we played the originals as well on PS1. Like, we played the hell out of those games. But it got to a point where we made our own games out of them. And I'm sure that's how it is nowadays still. But the story was just very lackluster to me on 6 or 5. I haven't played 6 yet. Please don't take that out of context. So
yeah, no, the only thing definitely keeping 5 alive is just the fact that it has a massive online player base. If it did not, 5 would have been dead in the water a long time ago.
No, for sure. Especially that RP. Like, that one is definitely taking.
Did you see somebody propose to their girlfriend in GTA RP? I saw that and I was like, "Oh man, this is the day and age we live in, isn't
Yep.
it?"
Yeah, that's the way it is. All right, well, getting us back on track.
Yep.
This is another one. This is another one. We're gonna throw this out there. I don't know if we'll actually see anything on it, but it is kind of a big deal, obviously, with it being out next month, and this is Avowed. I'm gonna be completely upfront here. I think the game looks incredible. Like, it is a very good looking game. I love the first person style. I love the magic and all that stuff. I'm gonna be completely honest, and I know Chandler's gonna be on my side with this too. It being a digital release instantly just kind of kills it for me. Yep. I don't want to have to download or, borrow digital rights to play my game. Like, so I'm on the fence about this one. I will check it out on Game Pass, but I will say this: if they had a physical release, this would be one I would buy day one.
Yeah, you know me, man. I talked about this game for months and months and months, and I was so excited for it. They really broke my heart with no physical release, though. So
you were the one that actually got me into this one because you kept talking about it, and I saw like the announcements online, but I never watched the trailer, and you were the one that actually sent it to me, and that was like, you need to check this out. So
yep, no, I'm like you. If anything, I'm probably just going to check it out on Game Pass and kind of see what happens. It's if you're not aware, the game has kind of divided the player base, and it's been a little bit divisive. Due in part to the game's art director making some comments. But so I'm kind of curious just to see how it's going to play out because, big companies like Xbox and everything also don't tend to deal with that kind of drama. So I'm curious to see how the cards are going to fall regarding this game's release.
Yeah, I feel like this is one that I am just going to say I'm going to be cautious on this one. I like I said, I'll check it out when it comes out on Game Pass, but it's not one I'm chomping at the bit for. If they just surprise drop, Claire Obscure and Avowed at the same day, I'm just going to tell you I'm getting Claire Obscured more, and that's going to be my number one pick. So, but on Game Pass, if there's nothing, like, this is one I will check out, but I don't know, they killed my excitement with a few things. And I guess, does that make us physical game snobs? Like, is that how we're categorized?
You can call me that all you want. I don't care because I know my way is superior.
I mean, that's fair. But I'm that way. Like, I'm that way too. Like, I would rather have my physical game. I don't know.
Everybody's entitled to play the way they want and everything, and you're entitled to your own opinion, even if that opinion is wrong. And that's all I'm going to leave it at.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah. Yeah. So this is one we're on the fence about. I do think we might see a trailer. I think we'll see like maybe a maybe a couple minute clip. I don't think it's going to be. Everybody knows the release date. Everybody knows when it's coming out. So it's
just going to be a reminder trailer, if anything. Hey, this game comes out in less than a month. Bye.
Yep. Nope. That's exactly what it'll be. So, but what's one more you're looking for, man? What's one you're hoping to see?
Man, next up, it's this one is one that I don't expect to see. I just want to say that, but I'm hopeful though, just due to the fact that Xbox acquired Activision, and so they got all of Activision's IPs, and one studio that I love from Activision split off from Xbox after the acquisition, and that is Toys for Bob. But Toys for Bob has now entered into a contract agreement where they are making a game for Xbox. And I and a whole bunch of other people online believe that game to be Spyro 4.
There you go.
And so I mean, it's been no secret. I'm pretty sure I've made a Crash Bandicoot reference in every single episode we've had so far.
At least once or twice.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, my love for Crash also extends to Spyro as well. They go hand in hand with one another. And Toys for Bob did the Reignited trilogy, and they did Crash 4. And they have expressed interest in doing Spyro 4. So I really hope we get something Spyro related, or just seeing what Toys for Bob is doing in general, even if it's not Spyro. They have my faith. You know, they've proved their worth to me. So I'm just curious to see what they're doing. I definitely don't expect to see anything from them at this showcase, though.
No, I think that one's pretty far fetched. In all fairness,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that would be a great addition to the library, though. I mean, the Crash Bandicoot games, the Spyro games, like they all just sell like crazy, man. 3D platformers are definitely seeing, I don't want to say like a full resurgence, but we're seeing a strong comeback from them too.
Yeah,
And it's nice to kind of see it.
yeah, no, it's kind of weird. Like I wouldn't call it a golden, like a golden age or anything like that, or like a renaissance or anything. But they're definitely more prevalent than they have been in the past couple of years. And honestly, one of the reasons I think that is because we're starting to see all these people that grew up with 3D platformers starting to introduce their children to them and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And the games that they played. And so we're starting to see that generational hand down, and I feel like that's why we're seeing such a big resurgence.
No, and I think that's fair. But I also think like you can't beat these characters, man. Like this is some of the best like character created, like character designs, and like I don't know, man. It's just you can't go wrong with Spyro. You can't go wrong with Crash. There's others that I could name. You know, I'm gonna leave that for the future. But there's other big titles we could name for sure. But
Oh yeah.
again, I'm with you. I don't think we'll see a Spyro 4 announcement, but who knows? Who knows? We might be wrong. We could be way off base there. That would be an amazing surprise.
It could be Crash 5, and then I would break down into tears.
And we'll definitely have to get that on video. So, but so for my next one, this one was an announcement. I want to say, was it Summer Game Fest for the next one too? I don't remember.
I believe so because it got announced or no, I think it was just an Xbox showcase because I think they announced it in the same showcase as Doom: The Dark Ages.
Okay. I don't remember the exact time this one got announced, but this one's an Xbox like this is Xbox royalty as far as I'm concerned, man. Now
It's one of their pillars.
in all fairness, like to be completely upfront, like I'm a bigger Xbox fan than you. Like I think that's fair to say.
No, 100%.
So I've been like I still have my original Xbox from back in the day. Like I still have my little 2-pack of it was Star Wars, Clone Wars, and Tetris Worlds. Like I loved my Xbox. I love the 360. Here lately, I've been leaning more towards the PlayStation just because I think there's better PlayStation games out there now comparatively to the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
But Gears of War is Xbox royalty. Like there's no question about that. That's like saying Halo, Forza, these games, they are Xbox, they're exclusives for sure, but they're pillars of this entire, platform for sure.
Yep.
And E-Day is one I am very, very excited for. Now, do you think we'll see anything on it is the $1 million question.
Man, if we see anything, it's going to be the smallest bit. But that's the thing, though, is it's been how long since Gears 5 came out? So I think we're a little overdue to see, something, just something small. It really doesn't matter. But whether or not we're actually going to is a whole other story. But I hope we do because Gears of War is. I love Gears of War. I'm not a big Xbox fan and everything, but I own every Gears of War. I have played every Gears of War, minus 5 actually. I don't think I've played 5 yet. I don't remember playing 5.
I played a little bit of 5.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't very good, but I still do want to check it out, and I will. But E-Day, going back to form, going back, to whenever it all started, and I don't know how brushed up you are on the Gears lore and the canon and everything.
Oh yeah.
But E-Day is such a big deal, man, and I am so excited.
I am all for this, man. I think this is This is one of the best franchises. I remember pre-ordering it at GameStop when it came out. I still have my dog tag from the Gears of War 1. I still have that. It's like a black laminated dog tag.
Is it one of the COG tags?
No.
No,
it's an actual like dog tag, but it's like dipped in plastic. Like it's got a plastic around it, and it just says Gears of War on it. So.
Oh man, missed opportunity though. They
they did. They did the COGs.
Oh, did they do COGs?
Yeah, they did COGs eventually, but yeah, this was just a GameStop pre-order bonus. So, but no, like I've been a huge fan of these. My other buddy, him and I have played every single one of these. And the only one we haven't finished is 5 because we just were not feeling it. But the original trilogy is incredible, man. These characters, Marcus Phoenix, Dom, you know, like you like 100%. You wanted these characters to be okay. You wanted to make it through all of this. And the one thing they never did is they always referenced E-Day, but we never knew the story. I mean, we knew what they told us, obviously. Like, they referenced it and they told the history of it, but it's like, we never got to see the beginning of Marcus Phoenix, you know, how him and Dom, you know, started together and stuff like that. So, I cannot wait for this one.
This is basically, you know, this is Halo Reach, basically, you know. We always heard about Reach in the Halo games before we got the Reach game. We had the book Reach before the game came out, and then we finally got to see it. E-Day has been one we've heard about in the franchise. There's been a book for years out now about E-Day, and now we're finally getting to see it ourselves and play it ourselves. Yep. And I am super excited.
No, I am 100% ready for this one. I'm hoping... I don't think we have an ETA on this one. I don't think this one ever gave a date, so I would be very surprised. I'd be very surprised if we saw something here, but man... Like, Gears of War has one of I don't know if you remember, it has one of the most recognizable video game trailers ever. Like, it's one of the most watched video game trailers of all time, if I remember correctly. I think it's one of the most recognizable.
Yep, that haunting rendition of Mad World in the background. Yep, and then I don't know if you noticed, but the E-Day trailer is almost a recreation of that original trailer with Mad World playing in the trailer again. So
no, it's I can't. This is one I can't wait for. It's just like I'm crawling out of my skin for this one, man. Like, this one, there's so much potential with this, and you know as well as I do, we're gonna have to run this one. If you get it on Game Pass or however you want to do it, this is one we are definitely gonna have to run. I can already tell you right now, because my buddy and I, like I said, we've run through all of them. He's still hitting me up to play Gears 5, and I'm just like. I guess
that's fine with me so long as I don't have to play as Baird.
All right.
I don't like Baird.
we gotta see how it goes. To be honest, I don't know how that works, but man, I'm watching this trailer and I just all the nostalgia of seeing, you know, the original Gears trailer. You know, going to the midnight launches and picking them up and spending all this time just doing the combat, the multiplayer, the single player, just loving every bit. I can't wait for this one, man. So I hope we see something. I don't know if we will, but I do feel like this will be something at a bigger showcase instead of just like a random showcase we're seeing here.
Yeah.
But cool. Enough ranting on this one, man, because I could talk Gears of War all day. What's another one you're hoping to see some more on?
Man, one that's coming up that we've actually seen some stuff on and everything. Is I actually started out as a Rare game. I don't know who is developing it this time around for this new title. I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. But that is Perfect Dark, though. It has been forever since we've gotten a Perfect Dark. I mean, we got Perfect Dark 0 back in the 360 days, but it wasn't Perfect Dark, if that makes sense.
Initiative and Crystal Dynamics.
Oh, Crystal Dynamics is doing it?
I mean, yeah, like, man, Crystal Dynamics is so good. Like, I'm already interested, like, in the game beforehand, but now it's like, this is a must-see.
Oh, yeah, Crystal Dynamics is, you know, responsible for Tomb Raider, Legacy of Kain, Gex.
Gex, hands down.
That's why you're into. I'm playing Perfect Dark because of Gex.
Yep, a little rude lizard platformer from back on the Sega Saturn. That's all I need. I'm sold for the rest of my life. So
Yep, still waiting on that Gex trilogy limited run, but
Yep.
it's neither here nor there. But yeah, Perfect Dark though. I am super excited for it. I'm really excited to see what Crystal Dynamics is going to do with it. And here lately, I don't know why. This is just something I've observed personally, but it seems like a lot of people have been excited for it due to the fact that Indiana Jones came out, and I don't know how they're getting one thing from the other. But nowadays, whenever I see people talking about this new Perfect Dark game, it's in the same conversation as Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them being somewhat similar, quote unquote,
Hmm.
because of like the first person, the stealth aspects. I know Indiana Jones had a ton of puzzles and stuff like that, so that's a bigger factor there. This is one I'm very interested in. I played the one back on the 64. I actually really enjoyed the one on the 360, Perfect Dark Zero.
Oh,
Um,
you did?
it's
That's
not
pretty divisive.
it's not like, groundbreaking or anything like that, but it was a
Yeah.
good game. It got a lot of crap, and obviously it wasn't Call of Duty or anything at the time, but I liked it. Like, it wasn't a bad
But
game. So,
that's the thing is it didn't need to be,
no.
you know, and it never needed to be.
No, but I am excited to see more on this one. But the $1 million question, are we going to see anything at this showcase? Do you think we're actually going to see an update, maybe a little teaser, maybe some more gameplay?
I think we're going to get a teaser at least.
Okay.
So, because it's been a while since they've said anything about it, they've been kind of dark on it.
Ha ha. But
Yep. So, I'm expecting to see at least something minuscule.
okay. Well, hopefully we do. Like I said, my wife's really big into these. She was a huge fan of Perfect Dark on the 64. I was, growing up, I was real big in the GoldenEye. This was her GoldenEye, essentially. Her and her friends
Hmm.
would play this all the time. So I know she's interested in seeing more. But yeah, I'm hopefully we'll get a little bit of teaser. Hopefully we'll get an ETA, maybe a window for a release date, because I don't think we have anything just yet.
Nope.
But hopefully we'll see a little bit more. But all right, man. This is the big one for me. This next one. You know me. Like I
Mm.
like all sorts of games, but fighting games is one of my biggest passion projects. This is a big one for me, and it's frustrating because we live in a day and age now where PlayStation is a fighting game platform. It
Hmm.
really is. PlayStation has all of the best fighting games. If you're playing, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Tekken, Marvel vs. Capcom, you're usually getting them on PlayStation. Like, I've even got fight sticks that are exclusive to PlayStation and PC, technically, but
Hmm.
they don't make a lot of stuff for Xbox. But I will make a stand, and I will say, without a doubt, Xbox has one of the best fighting games in the market, in the industry, hands down. And that was Killer Instinct. I don't care what anybody says. This was the reason I bought my Xbox over my PS4. There wasn't even a question when the day and age of, oh, both of these systems are coming out within a couple weeks of one another. Which one do I buy? Do I buy the
Hmm.
PlayStation or do I buy the Xbox? What it came down to was, what am I going to play? What games are coming out for me to play? And this trailer, well, the announcement of the trailer, not this one specifically, but I remember the E3 trailer when I heard the drums hitting and they showed the KI logo. That made the decision for me. And my entire generation of Xbox One was 90% of this game. Now, will we see a KI2? Probably not. As much as that hurts my heart to say, and as hopeful as I am, probably not. But there's two reasons I'm very hopeful and strongly optimistic that we will see a KI2 announcement. And one is the power of positive thinking. I
Yeah.
gotta be the one channeling that dream, that hope, that little bit of, this is gonna happen. If there's gonna be a drive for it, I'm gonna be leading that charge, man. I've got to be hopeful on this. But the actual reason is, so we just had So the game's been dormant for a while. It's been like 10 years or something like that we haven't seen anything. Like, I guess probably like 7 years they haven't done anything. But the game has been just dormant, you know? All of the characters have been the way they are. There haven't been any patches. It was pretty unbalanced in certain areas. So they just got the team that was patching the game and updating it, Iron Galaxy. They got the original team, the original lead developer and all that stuff. And they did a 10-year anniversary patch. So after 10 years of this game being what it is, they finally balanced it. They did small changes. It wasn't like a complete rework, but they rebalanced a lot of things. But they added a lot more life to the game. But the thing that makes me hopeful is, why are they going to invest all this time and money into getting the original team back together if they're only going to do one small balance change patch?
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Why wouldn't we start looking into something a little bit more? And I know Iron Galaxy, they've got to be working on something. Like, that's how the industry works. So I am praying to anybody that is going to listen. I am crossing every set of fingers and toes that I can get crossed. I am hoping for KI2.
Man, let me say this. I'm not going to dash your hopes and dreams on this one. Okay?
Thank you.
But think about it this way, though. I mean, yeah, PlayStation is the platform for fighting games and everything. I mean, they even own Evo now, or majority of Evo. But Xbox is doing this whole push where we're starting to see their IP on other platforms and everything. That would be a perfect opportunity to bring KI back.
100%. 100%. This isn't me saying that Microsoft needs to own that property and only keep it on Xbox. Exclusivity has a place, in my opinion, but I don't like it being held over people's heads. I'm not a fan of, like, I don't have a problem with, hey, Xbox, we only get Killer Instinct, but I'm okay with Killer Instinct going to other platforms. I'm not. It's just because it was only on the first one was only on Xbox doesn't mean the second one couldn't be on both. For me, that gives it more of an opportunity for everybody to play. I'm a bigger fan because then if you got it on PlayStation and I got it on Xbox, we could play together. You don't have to go get an Xbox. You don't have to update your PC. You don't have to do XYZ just for us to play this game. So again, I understand the appeal and the reason of exclusivity, but it's not a deal breaker for me. So
yeah. So I'm not going to dash your hopes and dreams on that one. We could see something. Maybe not in this showcase, but at some point in time.
I'm so hopeful, man. I mean, as you can tell if you look behind me.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit of a fan. I've got my fight sticks around here somewhere. My buddy and I did pro events for Killer Instinct. Like that was something we did together, and it made him one of my best friends. We got to hang out and do something. We met a lot of great people. We met some of the best players in the world. We met some of the top like Street Fighter pros, and we actually met. He played. I think he was 4th overall Evo ranking twice. One of the top KI players in the world. We hung out with him and just BS most of the night. Like, just great memories with it.
Let me run something by you real quick.
What's that?
What if Iron Galaxy came forward with a new announcement and they were like, "That's right, everybody, we're making clay fighters."
Oh man, now you're digging into my nostalgia. Like, if we're gonna talk like classic fighting games, I mean, I would love to see, because Clay Fighters was something they were gonna do years ago. Not them specifically, but there was a Clay Fighters announcement or someone looking into it at one point. So like there was someone doing something with that IP. But I mean, if you want to dig up like classic fighting games, if you want to bring up like Clay Fighters, Primal Rage, TMNT Tournament Fighters, like let's start talking classic fighting games. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna be all for it. So
you'll be there.
I'll be front in line, man. That'll be me for sure. So I don't think we'll see anything on it. This is definitely, out of all of mine, I feel like this is the biggest hopeful pipe dream there is. But I gotta be like power positive thinking, man. I'm gonna make this happen. So,
well, then here's what we'll do. Then we'll go from one pipe dream to another pipe dream.
All right.
And what's also fitting is that they're both Rare games as well.
Yep.
And that is my personal pipe dream, and I would expect Spyro 4 to happen before this one ever happened, but that is a Banjo-Kazooie announcement.
Oh yeah.
So, which it's always possible that Toys for Bob could be working on a new Banjo-Kazooie because Paul Yan, the director on Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, who is currently still with Toys for Bob, has expressed his interest multiple times in making a new Banjo-Kazooie. So it is possible that that's what they're working on and not a Spyro or Crash title. However, I don't think that's the case because, I have a feeling that before the buyout, they were already working on something else.
I mean,
Spyro or Crash related. So why would you scrap everything you had?
in all fairness, man, we know these developers have their hands in so many different projects at one time, and it's just kind of
You're not wrong.
what hits the ground running kind of thing. So
Yeah, but I would love to see a new Banjo-Kazooie. Do I expect it? Not at all. Like, there's not even an iota of a possibility that it's going to happen in my mind. So,
sadly, I'm with you. I mean, they're so good, man. These I grew up with the 64 one. I remember, I think, didn't we get you the VHS tape? The Nintendo VHS tape? Was that?
no, I have the Donkey Kong Country
That was the
one.
Donkey Kong one, okay. Because I remember I had the Banjo-Kazooie one. But yeah, like, we've talked about this franchise a million and one times, man. Like, this is one of the best 3D platformers they've made.
One of my favorite games of all time, man. I love Banjo-Kazooie.
It's so good.
So, and let's put it to bed now. I know it's not a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a divisive opinion anymore, but Kazooie is better than Tooie.
I mean,
saying.
fair. I remember this was one on the 64. I remember putting in the time trying to collect all the jiggies and I loved this game, man. So it's such a good franchise. Hopefully, I'm with you. I don't think we will, but who knows? Who knows? What'll happen? What'll happen if we're watching the showcase and they just drop a bomb and they're like, "Hey, here's a new Banjo-Kazooie in the works."
Oh, dude, I'm gonna just take my card. Take it now. Take it.
Take my money.
I know. I just picked up my wife's old driver's license. It's just sitting on the desk right here.
Well, they're probably not going to take that. They probably want real money.
Take it. Take it.
All right, so I think we're down to our last one, man. What's one more pick you got?
Man, so this one, I don't expect to see anything on this franchise, but I could very well be wrong. And that's Halo, because that's Microsoft's, that's Xbox's bread and butter. That is their console seller. That is their moneymaker. And, there's been some things going on here lately about how they changed names from 343, I think, to just Halo Studio now.
Mm-hmm.
They also announced that they're going to be using Unreal Engine going forward for future Halo titles.
All right.
So they obviously have less development time in using a pre-existing engine and not having to make their own. So, who knows? We could see something Halo related. If anything, if we do see something Halo related, I would be willing to bet that we see a full-fledged remake of the first one, of Combat Evolved.
I feel, I don't know, man, because I mean they've already done that. Like,
well, they did a touch-up. They haven't done a full-blown remake of it.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they've given that one love. I know 3 is absolutely a fan favorite. It wouldn't surprise me if we actually got an anniversary edition of 3.
Oh, I'm not calling it like an anniversary edition. I mean like full-on, like from the ground up.
Well,
looks like Halo Infinite.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they did with 2, is 2 got the anniversary edition. That was a full rebuild. And then 1 got I don't remember what it was called. It got a remake. It wasn't a full rebuild, but it got its own quote unquote anniversary edition. But I could see 3 being the next one. That they actually do something with.
The main reason I think we see something from the first one again is just due to the fact that, as I've already stated earlier, that Xbox is pushing a lot of these games onto other consoles and everything. Yeah. Obviously, I think Halo would do very well on PlayStation. PlayStation has the community for Halo players. Even if somebody's never played Halo before, everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
So, and then not only that, though, with the Switch 2 coming out and everything, and I'm not saying the Switch 2 is going to be able to run Halo Infinite or anything like that, but it could run ports. of Master Chief Collection and stuff like that, I feel like.
No, I mean, there was rumors of getting those quality games on that newer system. So who knows? Hopefully,
Yep.
we'll get some big announcements here soon, and we'll have a little bit more info on all that stuff. So,
Yeah, you hear us, Nintendo? Say something, you cowards.
hey, easy, killer.
What, they're going to send their lawyers after our small podcast,
Maybe
our unassuming podcast?
he speaks on his own free will. Obviously, Nintendo's been real coy with the Switch 2. I mean, it's been everywhere. It's their worst kept secret. We just did our whole episode on it.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully we'll see some stuff on there. So let's I know we're going a little longer than we normally do right now, but I want to ask you one question. And this is kind of off. We haven't actually gone over this a little bit, but what's your take on new hardware? Like now, I don't know if you've seen, Microsoft has talked about a new controller in the works.
Mm-hmm.
They have I don't remember what the project name is, but they have a new controller in the works. Do you think we're going to see that or anything new hardware-wise?
If we see anything hardware-wise, I feel like it would just be a controller like the Elite Series 3 or something like that. I don't expect to see anything console-wise.
Yeah, I don't expect to see anything console-wise.
If we do see something console-wise, what I expect is Xbox's version of a Steam Deck that prioritizes Game Pass and cloud streaming.
I mean, yeah, they've said that they're working on a new hardware, a new handheld, sorry, but it's not. We're not going to see that for a while. But Microsoft. So, have you heard I don't know if it's Sebile? Project Sebile, Sebile, Sebile.
That sounds like they're trying to summon an ancient pagan demon.
Maybe. Well, this is their new leaked controller. This is something that I actually saw a long time ago. It's honestly been like well over a year, to be honest. But this is a new controller, and it's supposed to have like motion controls, like an actual accelerometer and DualSense style haptics built into it. So there's a new controller that they've been kind of, I guess, working on in the background. I would like to see something on that.
So it's basically just going to be a fancy. It's going to be a fancy PS5 controller, is what you're saying.
It looks just like an Xbox controller, but it supposedly has like haptic feedbacks in the trigger, seamless pair switch. Let's see. Engage. Let's see. New modular thumbsticks, improved longevity, build performance, or improvement, sorry. Rechargeable and swappable batteries, recyclable materials, and less. So you can actually repair and disassemble these controllers now. So who knows? I don't know if this is going to be more into like the Series 3 controller, like you were saying, but it looks like they're looking into their controller problem. I mean, not their controller problem. Every controller has issues right now. I mean,
yeah,
stick drift is a pandemic when it comes to any of these controllers. It doesn't matter if it's Switch, PlayStation, or Xbox. But it looks like Microsoft has some hardware in the works. I know we talked about the handheld. I've seen images on a new controller. We haven't seen anything on a Series 3, and I know obviously they have their design labs. Like, I mean,
well, they got to be doing something, because didn't they discontinue the Elite Series 2 controller as well?
I don't know officially on that, to be honest.
Okay, I thought I read somewhere once that they did. So, but obviously it's been a while since they've, given us anything new hardware-wise, so I could expect a controller at least.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing like just something new hardware-wise. There's got to be something in the works. I know Xbox is really going on this Xbox as a service thing, and they're kind of stepping away from the console, so
I could see them making a controller that is compatible with Xbox, compatible with like Samsung TVs, compatible, with PC, compatible with all of their third-party content that they've been partnering with. Obviously, I don't see it being compatible with things like PlayStation or, Switch 2. But for all of these other things, though, for like your Fire Sticks, your Samsung TVs, your smart fridges.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
But there's there's a lot in the works. We don't have all the answers just yet, but who knows? We'll have a lot more answers to some of these questions on the 23rd, is what we said,
Yep,
is when the showcase.
And I'm excited because I'm impatient and I'm ready for some announcements for 2025.
I mean, we're already in 2025, man. Like 2024 went by in the blink of an eye, and who knows? It's going to be the 23rd before we know it. So,
yeah, I know you're not wrong. So,
but we're definitely going on a bit longer than we normally do. But how do you want to wrap this up, man? Do you have anything you want to say or anything you want to end on?
Trying to think if I have any last minute statements or anything divisive. I just want to scream at the camera like I normally do. But
I mean, we've got nothing but time on that. So.
Oh yeah, I know. So I don't think I got anything to, wrap this up with. It's just what I hope to see and everything. Xbox has a very stacked year, and years going forward ahead of them. And I will say this: I think that this is maybe the first time ever that I have been more excited for Xbox's announcements than PlayStation's.
I agree. I think Xbox has a good year ahead of them. Hopefully, hopefully it pans out. Because in all fairness, the previous kind of gambles they've taken haven't worked too well for them. They've had a lot of swing and misses kind of here in the past year or so.
But if they make all these massive AAA titles, these first-party AAA titles and everything, and they just sell gangbusters and everything, then I mean, who would have thought that all these massive AAA games would make them money?
Who would have guessed?
I'm just saying.
I mean, fair.
Like nudge, nudge,
wink, wink.
wink, wink.
Yep.
Phil Spencer, which funny enough is actually his birthday today. I saw on Twitter.
It's his birthday today?
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, if that's the case, Phil, happy birthday from us here at the Freakin Uncultured Podcast. We support you with what you're doing, man. We hope you have a great 2025 with some of these announcements, and we look forward to seeing more from you on the 23rd on this showcase. So,
yeah, no, I'll say this. I'm not the biggest Xbox fan, and that's something I haven't tried to hide ever. But honestly, though, Phil Spencer, I like Phil Spencer. He seems like a down-to-earth guy. He seems like a cool guy, and I definitely think he is good for Xbox.
No, I agree. I like what he's done. I think he's got a good direction for it. So I like, he would be someone I wouldn't mind working with or working for kind of thing. Like, he seems like very level-headed when it comes to that. So
yeah, no, I wouldn't mind like going down to the bar with, good old Philium after a long work day.
The stories you could tell.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap this up here. Again, thank you for all your support, everything you guys have done, just watching the videos, sharing them, commenting on Twitter. But more importantly, what do you guys want to see from the Xbox Showcase on the 23rd? Is there something we overlooked? Is there something that you are excited for that maybe we're just not as excited for? Are you super excited for Avowed? What about Gears of War E-Day? Do you have all the insight on Elder Scrolls 6? You need to let us know then if that's the case. But more importantly, thank you again. My name's Andy. I'm joined with my buddy Chandler. Appreciate your time, guys. And again, as always, keep it uncultured.